Welcome to the Free Spirit Tarot. I am Poetry. You are here for our continued journey using intuition to interpret the 78 cards of the tarot deck. Today we are on the Death card, which is card number 13. This is a card that scares a lot of people, but not me. It's actually one of my favorite cards in the deck because of the meaning that these cards can have, or the meaning that death can have to a situation and or person. Um, if you're new here, go ahead and do all the stuff that YouTubers tell you to do when they want you to join their channel and be part of the community. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to just click the thumbs up button to say that you are into a video. I don't understand why people don't do that if they're actually enjoying the content. Or you can hit thumbs down if you don't like it. I just need you to be, I just would like to know where your head's at, put it that way. So, the Death card. My. From my understanding, death represents loss. Death represents going home, um, change in circumstances, transformation of oneself. These are all personal knowledge or personal things that I connect with the word death. I believe in the most guidebooks, they are actually pretty similar to what I just stated for what I have experienced. Again, if you're unaware what intuition is basically using your brains to help decipher information, and that is developed by your either pattern behavior that you've learned, or pattern or different patterns, period, things that have repeated themselves in their life to you, or your learned experiences. And this is where our intuition comes from. This is why I state that anyone should be able to tap into their intuition. There's just different levels of it. Just like say somebody walking into a room and they sense the vibe is off and you choose to move. That's using your intuition. Just based off of what you have walked through in life. And every time you come into a room and it's quiet or something, you just get a certain vibe, or the way the people moving about, or the music may stop and look at you crazy when you walk in the room, and you decide to either stay or go. That's using your intuition. Just for me personally, I had an example of once upon a time when Cracker Barrel first really came onto the scene. I was driving to California with my daughter in the car, and she was like 2 years old. She had to poop really bad. My daughter did not like to poop on herself. She had to go to the bathroom. She had to go to the bathroom, right? So we stopped at this Cracker Barrel. Didn't know what it was at that particular time. We stopped at this Cracker Barrel to go use the bathroom. And we had to walk through the restaurant to get to where the bathroom was at from the door that we entered. And everybody stopped eating. The music is like the music didn't stop, but it felt like the music stopped because they had a jukebox playing. So music didn't stop, but it felt like the music stopped. How everybody just stopped and stared. And we were the only Black people to enter into the restaurant. Nobody said anything to us, like in a bad way. Nobody was being outwardly prejudiced or racist towards us. They were most likely in shock to see us walk in. Because we was in some little cow punduk town. I don't know exactly where we was at when we walked in there. Like I said, this is a place I had never heard of before because they hadn't expanded into the St. Louis area. But just that feeling, I was like, something is off here. Had all kind of thoughts going through my head. Yeah, at the same time, I didn't think anybody was going to fuck with us, put it like that, right? So we chose to use the bathroom. And we got out of there. We got out of there without harm and everything. It was just a feeling I had to be. I was on guard though, because like when I went to the bathroom, somebody came in. They didn't go into the stall next to us, but they came in. They didn't turn on the water, so it was like they was watching. It was monitoring our moves, and I was watching hers too. Saw them shoes at the door and everything right here. And then I said, "Can I help you?" And they didn't say anything. They left out right before I left out. So I don't know exactly who it was, but you just had a bet. That's using your intuition to like read the room. And so that's what we're doing with these cards. We're reading the freaking room. Just think of each card as a different room that you enter in, and now you have to decipher what you think happened and what's going on. So that's what we're doing here. The whole purpose of me doing this journey is for you to understand how I myself is a reader. So if you come to this channel and you look at any one of my readings, whether it's pick a card reading, a general reading, a set intentions reading, or a personal reading for someone that I may have placed onto the channel, you can understand exactly how I came up with the conversation that was laid out in the cards. And or if you somebody who wants to use your own intuition, you can see different ways in which I do it, and maybe you can apply those to your own situation as well, help you develop your own intuition. That's the sole purpose of this. And I'm going to go through all 78 cards of the tarot deck, and then I'm going to probably go back through just to show some different things that I picked up, like yes or no answers. Those are some of the things that I like to talk about when dealing with tarot cards. I also tend to address, I'm trying to stop saying the word so much so that you may hear some silence sometimes too when I'm speaking. I like to address like the seasons of the year, the time of day in which something may have happened, the type of person that I may be dealing with, as far as maybe age or how they're acting. Those are some of the other things I like to look at. Like right now, that's all I have been doing is looking specifically at the images in the card. But I'll show you, like, say, for example, if this particular card was pulled and I'm dealing with the time of day, we know that it's night. Okay. And the way that the clouds are looking, it's a cloudy night. Normally, when you get a full moon, a new moon, then that's when you normally don't tend to see it in the sky, and the stars are the brightest. But you can get another type of moon, and it reflects the sun, so you may see some haziness and things of that nature. And in this particular one, even though the sky looks like it's night, you see the sun right here. It's on the right side of the card. If you know, if you were taught this method in school, then you would know this. But if you weren't taught it, then I'm teaching you right now. So when you think about directions on a map, you spell the word news: north, east, west, and south. North, east, south, and west. But you spell the word news: north, east, west, and south. And you do it like that in a zigzag motion in order to get your direction, right? And so being the east, and the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's the terminology or the phrase they gave us to teach us how the sun appears. So since the sun is here and it's barely peeking from behind these mountains, you know that this is a sunrise and not a sunset. So this right here is early morning before the sunrise. So this is morning, but this will be evening. This one, by the position of the clouds, the fact that there's this could be midday here. This one being look like it's inside of a house. I wouldn't necessarily say a time of day at all for that one. This one here also, I wouldn't call a time of day for this one either, with the exception of they say death comes through the night, death creeps in the night. That's the only reason why I would make that night. And the reason why I wouldn't say it here was to see that light coming out the door. I wouldn't say this is daytime because of that light. I'll give you that specific reason when I give you my interpretation of that card. So let's just hop on to it because I tend to make these videos long and I don't want to make them longer than I want to. Death, the transformation. In this particular card here, this is the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. This particular death card, this is the embodiment of a true transformation. Most women, I don't know about men, because what I see when men have a breakup, I see different behavior. But most times when women go through a rough patch in their life, especially when dealing with a breakup, a true heartbreaking breakup, women tend to transform themselves or the things around them to make them feel better. In this particular case, she is cutting off her hair. We have a tendency to cut off our hair. Cut off our hair, we'll buy a new mattress, we'll buy a new car, we'll buy a new wardrobe, we'll take ourselves on vacation. We are um, transforming our situation by removing old things and bringing in new. And that's what it looks like she's doing is just cutting off all the old hair. And she's going to come out with a fresh new do. I also, when I look at this particular death card, I also see as well, I see this in medical terms. Again, a lot of tarot card readers do not like to read um, readings that deal with health and diagnosis and things of that nature. I do. And I do so because I'm not giving you a diagnosis. I'm just giving you things to look at. So when I see health here, I see somebody that may need to get an x-ray done. They may have something that's broken. It's not just a broken heart, but like say cutting off the hair sometimes represents a broken heart in a woman's relationship. Um, but yeah, so something may be broken that may need to be examined. Internally, you may feel like you're dying, or this may represent an internal change within you. So not just the external change of cutting off hair, but an internal change. And the room itself seems dark, but there is a beam of light. We can't tell directly if that is sunlight or moonlight. I'm going to suggest that it's moonlight only because the moon um, gives off a certain hue when it hits your different skin tones. But yeah, this is one of the things that I see. When I was saying that I don't really know of too many men who do this, I usually see men deny the situation as if it's happening. So they pretend to be happier. And this also could be a representation of that as well. When I said that this person is dying on the inside, but they're trying to present themselves to be still happy on the outside. I see men just actually deflect a lot and they'll say that they broke up with the person instead of the person breaking up with them. She wasn't good enough for me anyway. They give a lot of denial terminology because usually times the ego is more bruised than the heart. And that's just, again, my personal experience, the patterns that I have seen around me. You may experience different patterns because just based off movies, I do know in movies, men go through some hard heartbreaks, baby. But I personally have not experienced too many men that have went through that emotional change, that emotional fracture when it comes to heartbreak. They may feel a sense of betrayal or feel that somebody is unloyal, but the heartbreak they try to mask, if anything. Okay. I don't even know if that was a subject matter we supposed to be talking about, but still. But yeah, because I'm seeing that as moonlight, I may say that's night. And you would think sunlight will brighten up the room. And this person is not necessarily being um, brightened up. In addition to when you do most x-rays, they usually make the room dark. So that dark is also representing night to me. So I would use this card as something that's dealing with night. This death card has to be one of my most favorite death cards. And you think it looks so simple, so plain. And it is, but it isn't. This is one of the most beautiful deaths, I believe, that exist in all of my cards. This right here is what I would consider to be the homecoming. I'm not sure in other cultures, but in most Black cultures, we do a home going or for a funeral service um, because we said that our ancestors have gone home. Sometimes, depending on your religion, you may say that the person has gone on to be with God. They're gone home. Um, so it's not an ugly feeling. It is just beauty. The skies have parted ways and allowed for the space for the transformation to happen. Where something may die, something else grows in its place, where you see all the little white flowers that is growing up in the fields. The field is not even barren at this time. The trees aren't barren. Um, so this one here is about a blissful transformation. Somebody is definitely at peace, because this card gives me peace when I see it. So someone had peace when they passed away. Um, but I definitely see this more as a transition into an afterlife. I depending on the other cards that fall around it, I may get other type of transitions or other type of deaths out of it. But I do, in most cases, read this as a physical death, spirit or spiritual death, as such as well. You being the rebirth. Okay, can you feel a brand new day? That's exactly what I'm saying here. This is a brand new day. Okay, this death right here. This right here. Let me go back for a second. That is the Gregory Scott Tarot. I think I always label this deck. This is the Gregory Scott Tarot. This one here is the Modern Spellcaster Tarot. Yes. Okay, so this death here, this is an ugly death. It's a painful death. This is a death that comes with warning. Um, the death may not be understood because of the cloudiness. The death may have been premeditated or planned, which is from the cauldron with the smoke, and the smoke is billowing up against the moon. The moon usually illuminates something for us, but can also create illusion. The moon, when it's like this, is larger than what it actually is, so that means your perception has been changed. This cauldron is sitting on a bunch of skulls, meaning many people have fell victim to this same type of situation. The scythe is another thing that's giving me a dangerous situation. There was maybe anger there. Um, there's blame, and I can't remember specifically about the bell. There's something about the bell tolling to signify death as well. Um, I'm showing here that this looks like a face. They're facing death. Also here, um, somebody's like a zombie. They won't let go. They won't transition. They're having a rough time transitioning, and I mean this in a sense of physical sense or in an emotional sense. The situation around it has died, and this person has a hard. They have to face that reality. They have to face that death. It was ugly. It was grueling, and they were still reaching out, just trying to hold on. That's what I saw when I see this hand reaching up, like they're trying to hold on to something that's dead. I mean, there's so many more things that's in this photo. I'm not addressing everything that I'm seeing. Again, it mainly is applicable when it's surrounded by other cards. I rarely ever do a one card read unless I'm just doing a message of the day or something to focus on specifically. So it definitely would have to deal with all the other cards that fall around, explain if this is something physical that we're talking about, or if this is something that is like something that has died that you are just having the hardest time facing, whether that may be the death of someone else, the death of a relationship, the death of a situation, even a small part of you that has died inside that you need to change, something that you need to let go of is no longer useful to you. You know, so yeah, that's what I see in this death card here. I also see, if I speak it on medical terms, there's something with the lungs, like showing the chest here. There's something with the lungs, maybe your stomach, your intestines that need to be addressed as well, or something that you're doing in regards to your chest health, your breathing, your respiratory, your or the way that you eat, or if you're not cleansing your body properly, something of that nature that may be something that could kill you if you don't take care of it. Could change who you are. Could make you malnourished as well. But yeah, this one is definitely a struggle for somebody who doesn't want to let go. They keep trying to hold on no matter what's going on around them. All these different signs. This is a person here that has already gone on too, but you see that they're not fully in the ground, same as that person here. They keep trying to uh, escape the inevitable, is a good way to say that. Okay. This one here is the Good Fortune Tarot. This one, when I see this one, I normally relate this to relationships. This is a happy death when it comes to relationships. Someone in the situation is happy about the death that exists. They're happy about it coming to an ending, whether it be a friend celebrating or whether it be you or your partner. Somebody is basking in the glory that it is over and done with. They gonna sing and dance on your grave. This skeleton is doing a damn pirouette, baby. They are ecstatic, in fact, that this is over. When I look at this in the forms of a relationship, I do see that this is possibly a third party situation, meaning that there is multiple people, three people involved in the situation, whether they be lovers, whether you may have a stalker who's taken out you and your partner. Um, what else? Yeah, by the sun rising, there is a new beginning that's going to come after this, after the pain, after the pain. Okay, there's new. The mountains have been climbed. They've made it over the hump. You tried to come after me, and you got before I did. Or you may think that you've killed me, but I'm still living in. I'm still going to transfer on, while you are reaping the karma. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tear. Not gonna cry. It's not worth the time. 'Cause you're not worth my tears. That's what I see when I instantly see a happy end to something that no longer serves us. It also could be, if I'm not looking at it in the terms of relationship, um, old habits that have passed away, old traditions that we've let go of, generational curses that are no longer going to bind us. We've shed all of that old skin, all of those old traits, everything that was binding us and hold us back. We've let it go. And the reason why I'm specifically stating the word old in this explanation is, look at the clothing that they have on. This dude is wearing his belt on the outside of his shirt. They haven't dressed like that in years. They haven't dressed like that in years, honey. She has on a very old style of dress as well. This is like some generational stuff that you've been able to free yourself from. And these are, they look to me to be antler, but it's like a bunch of antlers in that, image there. And usually the antlers are used to help protect. Also, in this particular case, the rib cage here is protecting an organ that's glowing. I don't know what bodily organ that's supposed to be. I don't know if that's supposed to be your heart, but it's glowing, child. So you are now, and you have successfully protected yourself, and you have removed from your life all of the things that have hindered you. So, like I said, whether it be a relationship, you've got out of the third party situation. On the negative side of it, that third party has got rid of you and your lover. If I look at this in the form of the said this could have been an abusive situation. This could be a warning to you as well, that if you did not get out of that bad situation, this is how you could end up. You could be crossing over to the other side by not heeding the call. But mainly, I see this as a joyous death. They are happy to be done, happy to be free. Okay. Now, this particular one is our Everyday Witch Tarot. And the reason why I mentioned this door, and I just said I didn't believe that that was necessarily representing daylight as far as the time of day. Um, I'm going to say again that I'm gonna, based off of what I'm seeing, I believe this may be night because cats are most active in the nighttime. Um, Death, the phrase "death comes in the night." That's also what I'm seeing here. But I see that this was a very stressful situation. You see the rope being pulled and it's already frayed and breaking. That's all it's going to take is one good thing to make you snap. Stress could take and kill you. I want to say it's one of the number one. It's one of the top killers of people with hypertension is stress. So if I was going to look at it from a health situation, I would think about stress and the reduction of stress. And the sword usually represents things that you're thinking, things that you're taught, you learned. Um, so stress is usually sometimes mental. You're outside. The outside world is chaotic around you. Look at all the smoke, and it's about to engulf you, cover you up. And so it's gonna be a lot of mental stress. So I also think of mental health conditions when I see this particular death card as well in relationship to health. I do see also this is gonna be a physical death. Curiosity killed the cat. But if I don't want to think of it as an actual physical death, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. You were near death. This death card to me also represents um, what's the word I'm looking for? A choice being made. You're going to choose to live or you're going to choose to die. And that that is not a literal sense. That's a metaphor. Or yeah, is that a metaphor? Yeah, a metaphor. Is that right? Not a literal sense, but still, okay. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of choosing to live or to die, sometimes you may go through or you may experience something as um, heartfelt as an actual death, a breakup, a loss of a job, loss of a friendship, your kid on crack, grew up, some kind of anything, you know, anything. You lost a loved one, anything could happen. Just watching the news and watching all that turmoil that's going on in the world, you have to make a choice whether you're gonna live or die in that situation. You're gonna die thinking of that situation, like that's gonna be everything that carries you through, where you're not actually living any longer. You're too scared to move, too scared to breathe, afraid to do everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's about choice, and that's represented by both doors as well. Um, you remember the movie Poltergeist? If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. The original. When she's told to go into the light, Carol Ann. That's what I see here. If you walk into the light, you are choosing the side of good. If you decide to not walk into the light, you are deciding to stay in the position you are at, whether that be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? But in the situations of death, because it's about change, It's about growing and going to someplace new, someplace different, and becoming a different version of yourself. So with this closed door, you're blocking your blessings, you're blocking out that opportunity. But here you go into the light, going into the light. Speaking of poltergeist, also is going on to a spiritual death, a physical death as well. Choosing to let go in that moment. Like say somebody may have you wanted somebody who you knew was passing away to keep fighting, and they are tired, honey. They are burnt out, and they choose to go into the light. Um, like I said, there's so much more like dealing with this, the way he's dressed, the cloaked face, things in that nature. Um, what do you do when you look death into the face? You say to death, "Not today." So it's going to be a fight up against him, whether or not you're gonna give up and fight that day, and die into self, die a physical death, die a mental death. I love these 5 cards. I do, for so many different reasons. But yeah, the actual time of day that I've spoken before, I'm going to get more to that probably after we finish the 78 suits. I'm not sure. I might slip it in there as a little break in between the actual cards, or a break between um, switching over from the major arcana to the minor arcana. So I may snip another video in there. I also am going to add to my descriptors. Um, what else am I thinking about doing? Talking about what I call the walk of life, which explains the journey through the elements, the cups, wands, swords, and the pentacles, and how they compare to the journey of the court cards, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. And like I said, I call it the walk of life. And I did coin that terminology myself. Uh, just like when I look at these cards and try to determine what time of day it is, that it's not something that I was taught by another YouTuber, another tarot card reader, or a book. This is just using my own thought process, my learned patterns, my learned experiences, and what I'm seeing in the cards to help me determine that. 13 is supposed to be an unlucky number. Um, I wonder if that's why they chose the death card to be 13. Because there's a lot of people that's afraid of the death card. I say don't be afraid of change. Embrace change. If you're somebody that believes in the afterlife, if you're somebody that believes very deeply in heaven and earth, heaven and hell, or things of that nature, then embracing death and the transition into the afterlife is something that you also look forward to. If you're somebody that doesn't have a thought about that at all, you may just want to look at it as shit, it's over. And it's just another change. You're changing from a physical form to dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust type situation. Yeah, that's it though. That's what I got for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. This has been Poetry with the Free Spirit Tarot. And I will be placing up more videos at least twice a week, like I stated before, help you walk through this journey with me. And like I said, we're going to get back to actual readings. I'm involving myself with learning how to apply my cards specifically to different cases, um, being like missing person cases, unsolved mysteries, unsolved deaths, um, things of that nature, unexpected occurrences. So a lot of the other things that I look at for in these decks, like the yes or no answers, um, the time of day, or things that would greatly help me in those situations, in those type of readings. And I do have some personal readings on this channel about people's actual experiences with losing loved ones and the readings that I was able to do for them. So I'm really want to like expand my reading abilities and my skill set to get more into that. But in the meantime, This has been the Death Card along the Fool's Journey. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.